Is Donald Trump an intellectual? Trust me, I'm like a smart person. I'm a person that very strongly believes in academics. I went to the best schools. I'm like a very smart person.
He didn't pay any federal income tax. So
that makes me smart.
I'm like a smart person. I don't have to be told the same thing and the same words every single day.
I'm speaking with myself, number one, because I have a very good brain and I've said a lot of things.
Can you tell me something that President Trump did while he was president that you didn't like?
And I know everybody's answer is probably tweeting, and I loved his tweeting for one reason. It was like the red laser. He would tweet and get them over here thinking about all this while he's over here really getting some stuff done. And no, I can't think of very many things that he did.
One thing?
Let them steal the election in 2020. Because he said he knew they were going to do it, so I'm kind of wondering why he didn't do something about it.
And do you think it was a stolen election in 2020?
No doubt in my mind. I watched it myself with my own eyes at 3 o'clock in the morning on TV.
What did you see?
I saw all the ladies in Georgia pull all those ballots out, and I watched her run the same ones over and over. And I watched it with my own eyes. I don't need anyone to tell me it was stolen. I watched it.
The government, the state government in Georgia said that was totally innocent, and that was
they did.
Well, it's a Republican government there, so I'm just curious.
No, it's a Republican government.
What would you have to hear to make you believe that was just an innocent, and that's?
I watched it with my own eyes. Nothing. There's nothing that can make me believe that wasn't stolen. And they're arresting people individually for all of this. I mean, Trump just said it. They found in Pennsylvania that everything we said was right. They're just not showing it all at one time to show how much fraud there really was. I don't know if you've seen 2,000 Mules, but that shows exactly how they did it. I knew they did it. 2,000 Mules showed me how they did it.
Is there anything he did that you didn't like when he was president?
Like policy-wise or
anything. Is there anything you didn't like about it?
The one thing, me personally, okay, what I'm saying is me personally, the big thing you hear from people is the tweets. If he was to just shut up and stop tweeting, okay? I personally love them. Like, he would tweet, and I know, oh, watch this. They're all going to go nuts on NBC, and they're all going to start going crazy. Like, me personally, like, I enjoyed that. It was fun because I watching it. They're so predictable. But that is the one thing that even like way calmer people on our side are just like, hey man, if you back off that, you're going to get so much more support. There's validity to that. So if he was to tone it down a little bit, he would open up another segment of the market that is just kind of,
One of Donald Trump's biggest problems is that the dude just can't keep his mouth shut. He cannot shut up.
Well, the tweets. I mean, obviously, if he would have kept off the tweets, I think he would have probably still be president.
I don't follow Mr. Trump because I like Trump. I go after Trump because I like the way he does things. I don't like very much the way he talks, but I don't care about the way he talks. What I do care is where are we going with Mr. Trump? And that's the point I want to get.
He might say a few things that people don't always like.
That you don't want your daughter to hear, for example?
My granddaughter.
Granddaughter, see, look at that.
But, maybe I don't always say all the things I should either, so.
His ego and his narcissism is leading him to violate gag order after gag order, and his lawyers don't know what to do. I mean, at this point, he literally has the bottom of the barrel lawyers. Absolutely no one with any credibility wants to be associated with Donald Trump.
They want to gag order him. Will this happen? What is it?
I'm going to tell you right now, you're trying to look, if they do it, that tells the country everything. And a gag order to silence a candidate, the leading candidate, number one. Number two, to silence the defendant in a case where the plaintiff, the state of New York, the DA Bragg, has leaked, and we know this for a fact because we don't have the indictment. He leaked 30 to 34 indictments. How do we know that? We know that because it came from their camp. And it could only come from their camp. And that, by the way, Benny, is a felony. So if they're gonna gag my client, number one, we will be fighting First Amendment issues left, right, and center. Number two, that is seriously un-American.
And Sure enough.
A judge in New York fined former President Donald Trump $5,000 for violating a gag order in his civil fraud trial. Judge Arthur Engeron had ordered Mr. Trump to delete a social media post attacking a court staffer, but it stayed on the Trump campaign website. A defense lawyer called it an oversight.
Now, one of the things that I've been discussing for quite some time now is that the only person who really can defeat Donald Trump is himself. You know, despite the fact that he's pretty much tied with Joe Biden in the polls, well, maybe up by 1.5 points at the time of this recording. You know, despite that fact, Donald Trump has 91 felony charges. He can't just snap his fingers and Thanos them away. He can't do that. He's violating gag order after gag order, doing things like posting the address of Letitia James's home, you know, reposting things that are getting him into trouble. His attorney, Alina Habba, didn't get him a jury in his civil fraud trial in New York. And everyone who has been associated with him is starting to flip on him. We got 4 people who have flipped on him now because he doesn't like to pay people. And all he does is throw everyone under the bus. So again, we're entering a territory now where if anything is going to keep Donald Trump from becoming president again, it's going to be his ego, it's going to be his narcissism, and above all, his blatant and brazen stupidity.